And welcome back to the Nottingham Tennis Centre. We're at the British Open Wheelchair Tennis Championships for 2017. We've already seen the men's singles final, and later on we'll have the women's singles final. In between times, it's time for the quads to take centre stage, and world number 1 and world number 2 are just about to go head to head for, would you believe, a 47th time. David Wagner and Andy Lapthorne playing match number 47, 33-13 in Wagner's favour at the moment, but Andy has won 3 of the last 5 meetings, indeed 4 of the last 6. The coin toss took place a few moments ago. Lewis Evans from Somerset, 15 years of age, started playing wheelchair tennis 2 years ago. Lewis hopes to compete in the quad finals himself one day. Also a keen magician. The way he used my 50p piece, I could tell he's a magician. I didn't get it back. Oh, I did actually. We're underway. Very glad to be joined by the doubles partner of Andy Lapthorne. That's the Cotterells alongside me. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Yeah, it's going to be a good match. I think the last few times these guys have played, it's been very close, very competitive, and yeah, we should be set for another good one.
Andy made his debut in the British Open at the age of 19. First meeting, well, the first meeting he had with David Wagner is in 2010, in this very event.
Really? Wow.
7 years ago.
7 years. Time flies, eh?
Yeah. Now, when he has won, there's a definitely the way that Andy plays against Dave Wagner. He has to be aggressive, doesn't he? He has to kind of give it back to him, because if he's passive, a bit like we talked about with Alfie Hewitt early on, if he's passive, it doesn't work.
Not at all, no. You'll find that Andy likes to play very aggressive. He likes to work the ball really hard, lots of spin. David is so good with his movement and his ball striking that, yeah, if Andy isn't aggressive and on it, then yeah, he'll struggle.
Very impressed with that shirt, by the way. Must be new. No creases in it. All good so far. 40 love on the serve. Yeah, exactly what the doctor ordered.
Good start.
Serve to love, opening game. Tell me about your doubles match yesterday.
Oh, it was a bit up and down. We, I thought we dominated the first set. We played really well together, I thought. Myself and Andy got a good lead. We were 5-2 up, and then we started to play a little bit passive. Maybe got a little bit too confident. Maybe lost the next 2 games fairly easily. But managed to hang on, win the first set, and then we just faded away. With a very good team to play against. We played them.
Well, they are world number 1.
They are, yeah, they are. But we played them a couple of weeks ago in France. And they beat us quite convincingly, and yeah, we were up against it when we played them.
Well, you're still work in progress, aren't you? You're still a relatively new pairing, so it takes a while to get to learn each other's game and how to interact.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we played a few years ago, myself and Andy, we played a few tournaments together, not a lot. But then since the Paralympics of last year, we started to play a lot together, and we've been pretty successful so far. So yeah, it's looking good.
And you're in the top 10 singles as well?
Yeah, I think yeah, 9 or 10 at the moment, something like that. Yeah, so still room for improvement, but we'll see.
Well, that went pretty quickly as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it's going to be that kind of match. 1 game all, blink of an eye. We've had 2 games already, and no break points or anything close to a break point yet.
Not yet.
And the wind might have, did have a bit of influence on your match yesterday, didn't it? Because the wind's swirling around a bit.
Yeah, it was very difficult to read. It kind of changed direction quite often, and 1 minute the ball would hold up from one end, and then the next minute it'd be left to right, and yeah, it was quite difficult.
We can hear it on our microphones now.
Yep.
There you go. Flags billowing off the poles as we look up.
Good shot.
I don't think we're going to get too many long rallies in this match, are we, the way things are going?
I think both players have to be aggressive. I'd say David's so good at reading the game, so Andy's got to try to take the first strike, but then Andy's got the speed to cover that, so David's got to play the same, really.
Ooh. Top of the taper.
Yeah.
Just not getting his returns in at the moment. Make it quite easy for Andy on serve.
Yep. Don't think David was ready then.
No, he wasn't. No, that's why I made it a first serve. How deep as he could go with that. Oh, positioning. Well, positioning on the serve and positioning on the winner as well. Right on 2 lines.
Yeah, the serve set that up really.
So no points yet against the Lapthorne serve. That was close. Lapthorne lob with his man totally out of the court. Wasn't going to get to that, was he? So that's pretty good. 2 service games, not a single point against it. And he moves into 2-1. We made this explanation yesterday, and as a quad player, you can explain this. Obviously, people who are looking at this for the first time go, well, David Wagner has the racket attached to his hand. Obviously, it's taped up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. And obviously you have it like David Wagner. Can you just explain for those who are looking, thinking, why are 2 players playing a slightly different way with their rackets?
The reason is to be eligible to play in the quad division, you have to go through. You have to first of all you have to have a disability in 3 or 4 of your limbs. So one arm has to be affected slightly. But then on top of that, we have to have a classification system. So we will be classified by a panel of classifiers, and we have a point system. And basically, if you score over 10 points, you're not eligible to play in the division. Whereas if you score under 10, then you are eligible. So it can get quite confusing because different disabilities kind of score different for different things.
Because Andy has cerebral palsy.
He does, yeah. So it varies on the disability to the severity. So you could, in theory, you could score 3 points and be quite more severely disabled.
Right.
You could score 10 and you would still have to play against the same person.
I've come across this. I covered swimming for many years, and it's a bit like the swimming thing with the categories there. That some people say, well, he doesn't look as disabled as the other person. And it's very difficult for classifiers as well to explain to people, well, he doesn't look like him. And, you know, but they do the best job they can. They don't always get it right.
But it's like you say, it's the same across all disability sports, and it's something that will always be there.
Back to the action. Let's see if Andy can take any points off David Wagner's serve here. Like that, he can't.
Well played, David.
Yeah, we could easily have tie-break sets here, I think, at the moment.
Could be a close one.
Serve is dominating.
Yeah.
Andy was having some grip problems yesterday, wasn't he, with his racket?
Yeah,
he got that sorted.
I think he just needed his racket regripping, so it was quicker and easier for him to pass it to the coach in the stand. Then they regripped it, and then we played I think 1 point, and then he managed to grab it back. So just put a new grip on, over grip.
He's got a point on the Wagner serve. See if he can build on this. strong. Yeah, a bit like Alfie, you always know what Andy's thinking.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, see, you were kind of like the Gordon Reed yesterday. I didn't know what you were thinking at all.
Me?
You were basically giving nothing away.
I try not to. I try to be the cool, calm one in the pair. We both can't
Well,
lose.
it wouldn't be difficult, would it? Let's be honest. Yeah, that wind, we're sitting around, the rain's nowhere near. That's got a bit darker though. Oh, beautiful. He's going to get back, he is.
Good shot.
Beautiful setup by Wagner, wasn't it?
Yeah,
In
it's
terms of sending Andy one way and then the other.
yeah. Once the ball gets up in the air though, like that, just like I say, from yesterday, even the same yesterday, it just swirls around. It's quite difficult to judge. That's good.
Yeah, if that's where his lob actually might come into a lot of use today, because that lob goes up, you've got no idea where it's going to go.
No.
2 games all then, hardly any imprint on either service game or service games. You get the abuse already.
Yeah.
I heard
Just the Scots.
I heard a voice in the back. Might be wearing his West Ham shirt today. Starting the new season next week.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be there.
Yeah, he is there for the Manchester United. Well, he's going to the away games.
He's going to the wall.
Yeah, going to the first 3 away games because obviously West Ham aren't there for a while because of the Olympic Stadium. Yeah, excellent serve. And yeah, West Ham don't have a home game till I think it's September.
Really?
Or it's either that or the very back end of August.
Oh.
Yeah, well played, Wagner, and well done, the lines judge as well, because she was having to move out of the way about 3 times there because he was getting so deep.
Yeah.
In fact, he had barely been much deeper than he actually was to the stop netting there. That she had to be fleet of foot to get around him a couple of times.
Watch her toes.
Yeah, somebody that they don't normally have a problem with lines judges in tennis, do they?
No.
Get run over. Yeah, first a slight wobble here, a slight worry for Andy. 15-40. That was a bit passive. That was a bit passive of Andy there. That's very unlike him.
Yeah, I think that was the wrong shot then.
Just put it right where Wagner wanted it.
Yeah.
Had loads of time, an open court pretty much.
Yeah, and you take advantage. You give him half a chance, he'll take advantage without a doubt.
Which is amazing. This is meeting number 47, isn't it? 33-13 in Wagner's favour. They've been up against each other for 7 years now. Now this year, Andy has a win-loss record of 16-6. He hasn't played a lot this year. It's only his 23rd match of the year.
Yeah, I think it's the same for a lot of players. It's the year after the Paralympics. Last year was ridiculously busy for, I know, all the British players at least. And yeah, this year maybe play a little bit less, travel a little bit less, and maybe stay at home a bit more training rather than travelling so much.
Well, that woman enjoyed it so much she's decided to go off. So all the other officials were they are changing officials, but I think she was quite glad that she didn't have her feet cut in two by the wheel of David Wagner. So new officials out on the court as we prepare for game number 6, and Wagner with that early break. Wagner beating Heath Davidson 6-3, 6-1 in the semis, and a fellow Brit James Shaw 6-1, 6-2 in the quarters to get here.
I'm sure they'll have a few more encounters as well throughout the rest of the year.
We've got the US Open to come, of course.
Yeah, they've got the wheelchair US Open in St. Louis, which both these guys are going to be playing, and then there's the US Open in Flushing Meadows, New York, the week after.
Why are you not with Andy at the US Open?
The reason at the moment is the entry for the quad division to the Grand Slams is 4, so we only have the top 4 players, and at the moment we qualify on singles ranking, singles ranking alone. So basically, at the moment it's the top 4 players.
So they're going to weight it against everybody else by having the world number 1 and world number 2 together. Then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to break that. So yeah, it's tough.
Nice, Andy. Very nice.
And at the moment, we don't play at Roland Garros or at Wimbledon either. So these two guys only get to play at the Grand Slams at Australia and in America, New York.
Which is a shame. I know that Andy's been very vociferous about Wimbledon embracing quads, and hopefully they'll do it eventually. Because the thing is, because the wheelchair tennis doesn't start until halfway through the second week, there's plenty of time to do it, you'd think.
Well, you'd like to think so, yeah. I mean, we've been asked to we've done demonstrations before on the grass. These two guys did a demonstration at Surbiton, the wheelchair event, the warm-up for before Wimbledon this year, and they both said it was fine. I'm not quite sure of the reason why we don't play there as of yet, but yeah, it'd be amazing to do. To be able to play at Wimbledon would be amazing. Yeah, we'll just have to see.
Well, so hopefully the next couple of years that might happen. In fact, they actually got wheelchair tennis on court 3 this year, was in itself quite a step forward.
Yeah, it's definitely getting much more in the public eye, and more people are watching, and it was on BBC 2 as well, I think. So yeah, hopefully that'll carry a little bit of weight for us in the quad division, and who knows.
Well, it does help having world number 2 and 3 in the men's singles, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You've got 2 of the top 3 in the world are British, then that does help.
Yeah.
Chance for Andy to break back that juice. Oh, caught by the lady, actually dropped by the lady, first row of the seats. And there comes the break back point he's looking for.
I think that was my partner actually.
That was it? Obviously no
she
cricket.
Can't catch.
Obviously no cricket.
Yeah, she can't catch.
Got him.
Shot.
So an immediate break back. We had 4 games with barely a point against serve, and then we have a break, and then we have another break.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 3 games all. Thought this might be a very rapid first set, but maybe not.
It's tight.
Wagner hasn't lost since May. That's when Andy beat him 6-4, 7-5 in the World Team Cup.
Is that last time? Wow. He's just Mr. Consistent. He's there every week.
Not like that.
Well,
It's one of yours.
Yesterday, yeah.
what he can do. That's what he
Yeah.
does do. He's got a new partner, hasn't he, now in the doubles?
Yeah, Brian. He started to play with Brian recently. Yeah, which is a different combination for those guys. Him and Nick played together for so many years. Been very, very successful. Gold medals, World Championships, World Team Cups, Doubles Masters. They won it. They won it all.
Done it again. Are you ever envious of Nick's chair?
Nick's chair. Maybe the speed. I don't know about. I think it's amazing.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. His ability.
He could be a pizza delivery man with that, couldn't
Maybe that's what he's doing. Haven't seen him for a while.
he? Ooh. The Lapthorne lob's not working too well. Most one of his trademark shots. Got himself into a bit of a hole again at 15-40. This game's just gone off a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice positive start. Looked all right early stages, but just a few things going slightly awry. We'll know from his demeanour and where he'll be hitting balls around and really getting crabby with himself. But 4-3, another break for the American. Yeah, French final. Although the one that takes place in France went 3 sets and was it 7-5 in the third?
Yeah.
As their last meeting and a major meet, I suppose, apart from the World Team Cup.
Yeah, they seem to. This year, I think they've played a few finals against each other this year.
Yeah, 3 out. They've met 5 times this year. Andy's won 3, and in the last 6, he's won 4. So he's got a good record in recent times.
Yeah. Yeah, he has.
Now Wagner started playing at 25.
Did he?
Yeah. Which, you know, I suppose for any other kind of tennis would be late to come to the game, but
Yeah.
you know, wheelchair tennis, any age, any time, isn't it?
It definitely is. Yeah, I was 23 well, 24 when I started. I had an accident when I was 23. So yeah, I'd never even heard of wheelchair tennis until I was obviously after I had the accident. So yeah, it's for anybody at any time. It's whether you want to take it serious or not. It's just great to get out and either play with your friends or go play your local club, whatever. It's because the rules are so similar to everybody tennis. It's just so accessible for everybody to play.
And numbers are growing, which is great.
Yeah, definitely.
It's having the desired impact and effect at the moment. Go for this one, Andy. Not going to get it.
Oh, great shot.
Yeah, that's what he was doing time and time again in Rio as well. But of course, Andy beat him in Rio.
He did, yeah. That was amazing that night. Yeah, I watched that one. It was a great match.
Classic.
And you could see after the match what it meant to Andy. He got a little emotional, but
just
yeah,
a bit.
that was to make that Paralympic final. You know, all that hard work and effort he put in.
And what about a doubles match as well? It was around, what, 3.5 hours?
Oh, that was the longest match in the world. It was blisteringly hot. It was, I had to go inside after the first set.
Well, we were covering a match on
home.
another court, and it thought, oh well, we won't get to see any of that because it won't still be going. And I think we saw about an hour of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first set and I was like, I've got to go in. I think it was the longest recorded match. What's a tennis match?
Yeah, 3 days.
Yeah.
Or it seemed like it. Yeah, Wagner's just upping the intensity a bit now.
It's a big game, this.
It is. Could break him straight back like he did last time.
Just right. It's a big game. Big difference between 5-3 and 4-all.
Not going to get that, so
Great
it is
shot.
5-3. Wagner closing it out. And Andy needs to secure his serve in this game.
Good service game now.
As the set will have gone. Favouring the backhand today.
Yeah, he is. David Slice works really well on these courts. It just stays so low, making it difficult to get that ball back up and over.
It's funny, that shovel shot in wheelchair tennis actually works quite effectively sometimes. You kind of think, well, that's a shot to nothing sometimes, but actually it catches people on the hop because they don't use it too often. But when you take it off your body, take it off your lap, sometimes it takes all the momentum out.
It does. The problem being when you have the obviously one of the disadvantages of taping the racket is you have to play every shot with the same grip. So if you have a particular grip and the ball comes straight at your body, you're unable to make that last minute adjustment, and you just got to try and get it back however you can. Use the back side of the racket or whatever, and it's something that I do practice at home because it's an emergency shot. It's not a preferred shot, but like you say, you have to use it sometimes.
2 set points. And only one required by the world number one. Gets the job done, and he's going to make it win number 14 against David Wagner. He's going to have to come from a set behind for the set going to the world number one. And just to pick up what Anthony was saying, the British players are supported by the GB Wheelchair Tennis World Class Performance Programme, which is run by the Tennis Foundation, Great Britain's leading tennis charity. Tennis Foundation runs this programme, puts on events such as the British Open in Nottingham as a way of inspiring more disabled people to pick up a racket and play tennis. Currently there are record numbers of disabled people playing the game. Here to help any disabled people that want to pick up a racket and play. People can visit the following website for more details. tennisfoundation.org.uk is the address for that. So how did you get to find out about it? How did you get involved?
As I was saying before, I had an accident when I was 23, and I was in the spinal unit rehabilitation centre. And one of the members of staff said, there's a guy here that I really want you to meet, because we'd spoken previously about that I played lots of sport and stuff. And he introduced me to a guy called Mark Eccleston, and at the time he was a world number one wheelchair tennis player, quad wheelchair tennis player, and he'd just returned from a trip from Australia, and he'd come to the hospital on an outpatient appointment. He came, had a good old chat with me, told me what he did, where he went, and I was like, yeah, I fancy some of that. I definitely fancy some of that. So he gave me the details of a beginner camp that the Tennis Foundation were having within the next couple of weeks. He was actually going to be going along anyway, helping out, so I went along with him and never really looked back from there really. Started to play for fun as soon as I left hospital, and then the more I played, the more I enjoyed it, and just the better I got really, and decided I wanted to take it serious, and just kind of snowballed from there really.
And it's taken you around the world now, which is great.
It has, yeah. I'm very privileged to go to some amazing places. So.
Now you were supposed to be swapping places with Greg at this point, but I don't think he's around. So do you
Isn't he? He's here actually.
Oh, was he? Oh, there he is. He's hiding.
He's hiding here.
Because we only got one set of headphones, otherwise I'd get you both involved. But yeah, depends what he's probably feeling quite chipper now. But he probably wants to come in, doesn't he?
Yeah, he said he'll be here in a sec.
Meanwhile, we'll look at the first game of set 2. And he's just done his game, and that's right on cue. He does just that.
Yeah, good shot.
Early break would be good here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just to get him back on the
He
road.
needs a good start. Yeah, you can can see by the amount of junior players that we've got here over the, over this weekend, there's the sport's really growing, really gathering some momentum, and the future looks really bright for British wheelchair tennis.
Well, it does, and obviously the profile in the women's game. Obviously, we have Lucy in the top 10 at the moment. We have 2 men in the top 10. Those kind of profiles have got to help, haven't they?
They do, definitely, yeah. And the more coverage we get as players, I think it can only help to develop the game and grow the game. And I think we've got within the Tennis Foundation, we've got a very good system for developing players and growing the sport at grassroots. And yeah, I think it's looking good.
Andy's hovering, so what we'll do when we get to end of this game, which I think is coming very soon, we will change things. No, I don't want to get rid of you. I don't, but I thought we're gonna share things. So if it goes with the set, you can come back to set 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just worried about that weather. Look at the sky.
It's not great, is it?
There's a dark cloud up there, right overhead. Back to Deuce. Yeah, it started off very nicely a couple of hours ago when we started at 10 o'clock. It looked gorgeous here. There's light, bright blue sky, and
it's not been the best of weeks though, really.
No, you've had a full week. But they're going to get it done on time, which is great.
Yeah.
And not having to go indoors as well, which is also good. But well, not yet anyway.
Yeah.
Don't
hold your breath.
No, it's looking a little bit angry upstairs. Right, so David Wagner takes the first game of the second set. So we're going to do a little change here. So
okay,
thank you, Anthony.
No problem.
We'll
thank
see
you
for set 3 if it gets that far.
All right, thank you very much.
I'll let him change headphones with Greg Hasselrock, who's coming up in a moment to talk to us, the world number 11. Greg get into positions. We watch Andy try to win his first service game of set 2. Greg, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Your boy's doing all right.
Yeah, I had a little tough start in the beginning, but really came through and looking in fine form.
It's a really intense battle, but Andy's game just going off a bit. It seems the intensity of his game's going off a little bit.
Yeah, he looked to have a little highs and lows, not quite leveled out, but Andy's a great competitor. I never count him out.
40 though, second game of the second set. Wagner chase. Oh, he's getting the luck as well. Getting the luck of the take. Doesn't need it at the moment because he's playing so well.
Oh, but it always helps.
You kind of want to save that up for when you're not playing very well, don't you? Just keep that in the locker. We'll have a further chat about you and this week in Nottingham in a few hours. Just move the mic a little bit closer to you because you're a little way away. Just that's it. Good. That's better. We need loud and clear. So Wagner with the early break in set number 2. And making Andy chase a lot, which he's not enjoying.
No, that's where David really comes into play. He's willing to come forward, take the ball out of the air, and just puts pressure on his opponents.
Shake of the head. Just not happening for him right now.
No, it's just not quite having the confidence, not getting the luck that he needs. Can turn it on though at any moment, so keep watching.
Needs to do it quickly though.
Yes, he does.
At 2 love down, maybe shortly 3 love down.
It's a hard hole to dig out from. Great effort there.
Yeah,
just
it was
didn't
great.
quite
It's a great
pay
gap.
off.
It's a great gap, but you know, for a while you can be so far out of court that you got an open court. Basically,
Yes.
Wagner's got an open court to just put it back in there, and been pretty comfortable at 40-15. And that's game done. Yeah, he's not had too much problem on his serve. So that one game where he got broken, but other than that, he's looking pretty good. How's life with you?
Oh,
World
no
number 11?
complaints. No
So I'm
complaints. Having a good time here in England. Tournament's amazing. Staff, crew, ball kids, everything. It's been a great week. Not the best tennis I could have hoped for, but still a good week.
Tell me about the profile of wheelchair tennis in the States. We know it's like here. It's growing. You know, Rio was fantastic, 6 medals for Great Britain, so that helped to project it further. And we have the Masters, and we have this event as well. What about in the States?
We also have a Grand Slam, or excuse me, a Super Series. St. Louis going to be coming up in about 3-4 weeks, I believe. Same thing, it's growing. We're really looking forward to having the games in LA, which was just announced recently.
28.
Yes, I think that's going to be huge for us. Really help us like what London did with you guys.
Yeah, you got Paris in between, Tokyo, then Paris. You'll still be around, because the thing is,
I'm hoping to.
In quads you can go on forever, as
You can.
We've seen.
It's the biggest thing for us is the amount of function that you have. That's a little bit more important than age, as opposed to the men and women, and obviously the able body. But yeah, I'm hoping to stick around. David's world number 1, 52 years old, 53 years old. Or excuse me, 42, 43.
43, yeah.
Sorry, David.
Yeah. Should we tell him that?
He'll probably hear, and I'll hear about it later.
Yeah, that'd be a way of putting him off, wouldn't it, if I shout it through the glass? Or
Yes.
through the netting here. I won't be doing that.
Yeah, you guys had Peter Norfolk played
yeah, Peter's probably
well
watching
into his
this as well.
days.
Yeah, and I think he's regretting retiring, you know. I don't think his brain has ever told him he's retired. I think he still thinks he's playing the game.
He was a great player. I'm sure he could come back and teach a lot of us a lesson.
No, because he was Andy's doubles partner for all those years as well.
Yes, he was.
Andy misses him a bit. Great understanding those two had.
Yes. Still, though, with the performance yesterday with him and Ant, who was just on here, they're a solid team as well. A couple points, match could have gone a different way. David, beautiful up there again.
Looking good, looking really strong. And I was just saying, in the head-to-heads recently, Andy's had the upper hand. 3 out of the last 5, 4 out of the last 6, Andy's won. So the momentum's all been kind of going Andy's way recently, but
It
not
has.
today.
I think the last meeting they had was Bruxton, something along those lines on the grass. David won another tight match. Just goes to show these guys, they can play on any surface. Great competitors, goes back and forth each time.
Yeah, we're having that discussion about Wimbledon with quads, and that'll go on for a few years now. Well, hopefully not too long. Hopefully they'll accept quads in the next couple of years, and then we won't have that discussion anymore. But at the moment, it's a bit of a thorn in people's flesh, saying, "Well, come on, it's about time you get us guys to look in." But
I would agree. I'd love to get the chance to play there. It's it will come in time, I'm sure. It's just when the time will be. We're waiting for it.
yeah, that's right. Waiting way too long. But at least we're saying this year, wheelchair tennis got on court 3, got on a
Yes.
proper show court this year,
Absolutely.
which is another step forward.
Yeah, any exposure we can get is good exposure. Men, women, quads, we all have a little bit different style of tennis, but it's all impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of just getting the message across, and also explaining to people what the difference. We were just talking with Ant about the fact you'll see one person, obviously, who has the racket strapped to the hand, David. Somebody who doesn't in Andy, and people go, well, these two guys look different the way they play in the game.
Right.
They're both in wheelchairs, they're both in the same category, but why do they play a slightly different style? And of course,
Yes.
then you have to go down those explanation routes, and sometimes that clouds things a bit. People go, oh, I don't really understand that, or maybe they
Right.
don't want to understand. But this set's going pretty right. Since you arrived, Andy's barely won a point. You realise that, don't you?
David's good luck charm, I guess.
Well, this will be wrapped up in no time before we go. But you go back to the States when, tomorrow?
No, I actually stay for one more week. There's another tournament in Austria that I'll be playing, Gross Seacarts.
Okay.
It's on outdoor carpet. Not
What's
the
that
best
like-
surface.
what's that like to play on?
It's quite hard to push on. It's similar to clay and a little bit slower push, kind of a fast ball. a little similar to what grass would be.
Okay.
Yeah, it adds a whole nother diverse play, I guess, to your style, and it's fun. The staff is amazing there. The play it's something challenging, which is, I think, something as tennis players we all enjoy. Great serve there by Andy.
Got to win the point, though. This is the problem. Great serve, no backup.
Yes.
And that's the worry. You know, very well getting a good serve in. You've got to have that second shot, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it seems right now he's trying to just overpower David, which saw earlier is quite difficult. Couple of great serves there. Weak replies.
Wants to get on the board. That's what he wants. Doesn't want to be bagels.
Oh, no one wants that bagel. Even the breadstick hurts.
Just not hitting the ball. I mean, that's halfway up the net. It's not even close. And he puts so much pressure on himself sometimes.
I think he does. Especially having the fans here.
Yeah, that's
Great
the first
shot by Andy.
That's the first time we've seen that since the early stage of the first set, really. That kind of winning shot. Mm, 2 points away from maybe saying goodbye. Ooh, right on the
great
line.
shots.
Right on the line. No margin for error on that one.
Hits with just so much topspin. That ball drops right in. That's the confident Andy that Wags does not want to see right now. And there we go.
That's more like it. That's what he can do. But has he left it too late to recover this now?
Big hole, but if anyone can dig out of it, Andy can do it.
5-1 then, second set after Wagner took the first 6-3. Number 1 and 2 in the world we're watching here in quad singles. David, of course, going for a notable double here. Doubles title and the singles title. Yeah, David hasn't lost since May. That's quite a run, isn't it? June,
It sure
July,
is.
August.
Great return there. Some positive, positive body.
Yeah, he
body
can do
movement.
it. He can do it. We know. We've seen him do it. We saw him do it in Rio, for example.
Yes.
That was close. Your fans are taking pictures of him.
Yup. Good man. Brian Barton's coach.
Oh, right, okay. It was obviously in the doubles yesterday.
That was a great match to watch. Sun was just horrible, though. All the credit to those guys for dealing with it.
Not worried about that today, unfortunately.
No.
Two match points for David Wagner. Before we finish, I think Andy wins the battle of the shirts, though, don't you? Two
He
shirts.
does. David's just a little plain there, and he's got the flash.
There's one gone. Got to attack here, Andy. No option. Attack puts it into the
There we
net.
go.
So we are done and dusted in pretty quick time. Got to be said, 6-3, 6-1, and the world number one gets the double this weekend, gets the doubles title, gets the singles title, and gets a few more points to keep him at number one. And he is, well, pretty much indisputably right now, correct? The world number
Absolutely.
one.
Keeping that streak alive.
Okay, so Austria for you, and then the US. Do you get an entry into the US, or is it top 8 only for that?
For quads, it's only top 4. Brian Barton was given the wild card, so we have Brian Barton, David Wagner, and Dana Mathewson in the women.
Okay.
So I have really good representation, and really excited to see what those guys do.
Okay. Well, good. Well, we wish you well. Are you back for the Masters? Do you get back for that? Or
I'm hoping to come. Yes, hoping to come back for that. Maybe Nottingham Indoor, Bath, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got Loughborough back in November. So maybe
Yep.
we'll see you back for that. It's good to spend some time with you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll catch up with you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you again.
Greg, very much indeed, and we'll catch up with him, no doubt, when we get to the Masters event in November in Loughborough. And thanks to Anthony Cottrell as well for doing the first set. So pretty comprehensive in the end for the world number one. David Wagner 6-3, 6-1. Andy Lapthorne not able to quite pull it out today, so sadly from his point of view, 2 defeats, doubles and then singles. We will have the presentation of the trophies, and just to mark your card that after that we'll get the women's final up, which will be Yui Kimiji against Dida de Groot, and that should be maybe a 3-set battle. We haven't had 3 setters yet. We had 2 set wins in both the men's singles and now in the quad singles as well, and the women's to come last of the finals that we'll bring you here. There's a mixed final as well, mixed doubles final, but that will not be on this court. So the last that we'll have on the stream will be the women's singles, which is up next. But here comes the presentation, which I think we're just waiting for David to untape his racket from his hand. So we're actually in position to do the presentation. Takes a little bit longer for him than just for Andy, but presentation party including the mayor standing by, Councillor Michael Edwards. Just having a chat to him about what a big deal this is for Nottingham. A great sports city, 2 football clubs of course, the cricket down the road at Trent Bridge, big ice hockey team in this city as well, and of course this tennis centre. Here goes the presentation party.
Welcome to the presentation ceremony for the 2017 British Open Wheelchair Tennis Championship Quad Singles. I'd like to welcome the Deputy Past President of the Tennis Foundation and Laura Mayor Councillor Michael Edwards to present the trophies.
Lord Mayor, the British Open at this splendid Nottingham venue is a landmark event in the international wheelchair tennis calendar. The Tennis Foundation is very proud to stage it. As everyone knows, I comprehensively thank all our sponsors, staff and volunteers at the end of the earlier event sequence. I will really now repeat our profound appreciation for their individual and collective efforts. Thank you all very much indeed. I'd like to congratulate all the players here and to thank all our spectators for their enthusiastic support. Thank you.
So the runner-up first, 2017 from Great Britain, Andy Lapthorne.
Just making sure the camera is set up on the phone, and as delighted as he was with the doubles title yesterday. Big smile on the 43-year-old American's face, and big bit of silverware to take back to America. Hillsboro, Oregon is where he comes from. Hope he wraps it nicely. It's going to have to go on the plane with him, isn't it? Oh, it was tight. Early stages of the first set, but when he went into another gear, left Andy Lapthorne behind. 6-3 first set. Looked like he could be bageled Andy in the second set, but got a game, but that's all he can manage. And in pretty much double quick time, certainly in that second set, David Wagner, the winner.
We've got one last match on here on centre court today. That's the women's singles final. We've also got a mixed doubles.
So next up, it will be the women's singles final, last one on the centre court. Yui Kamiji against Dida de Groot, and we'll bring that to you in a few minutes' time.
Game, 7,